one of your contacts clicks the unsubscribe link within one of your AMA communications, they're added to the unsubscribe list and will no longer receive any communications at all. But what if a contact didn't want to opt out of everything and instead wanted to control the types of communications that they could receive? For example, perhaps they no longer want to receive a newsletter, but they do want to receive notifications of new product releases. The Preference Center provides this alternative to an all-or-nothing subscription model. If you are an administrator for your Act Marketing Automation account, then you need to create a preferences landing page so that your coworkers can utilize this within their email templates. But first, there are some steps that we need to set up ahead of time so that everything works properly when we get around to creating our preferences landing page. In this video, I want to walk you through these steps to creating a working preferences page. The first step is creating the subscription fields in Act. For this example, I'm going to create a preferences page that lets my customers opt out of individual types of emails, and I'm going to split it into 3 groups: new product alerts, newsletters, and special offers. And so to begin, I need to create an unsubscribe field for each of these types within my contacts table in Act. To do this, we'll go to the Tools menu in Act and choose Define Fields. Now, I've already created these fields ahead of time. If you need to know how to create fields in Act, you can find knowledge base articles and videos about that topic. Here you can see I have a field for unsubscribe alerts, unsubscribe newsletter, and unsubscribe offers. And notice that these are all yes or no fields because this switch is binary. If they would like to opt out, they'll need to check the box which indicates yes, unsubscribe them. Step number 2 is adding these fields to my layout in Act. Again, from the Tools menu, you'll want to go to the Design Layouts submenu and choose Contact. This will launch the Layout Designer, and what I decided to do was create an AMA subscription tab so that I could organize all these fields into the same place. When you add these fields to your layout, remember to use the Yes/No field option in the left navigation. You can see I've added an unsubscribe newsletter, offers, and alerts field to this layout. Once you have everything aligned the way you want it, go to the File menu, choose Save, and then once again, File and Exit. Now, step 3 is creating dynamic groups for each of these unsubscription types. Once a contact is marked as unsubscribed, we need to make sure that they get added into a dynamic group for that subscription type. Let me show you what I did. In the Groups area of Act, I created 3 unsubscribed groups, one for alerts, one for newsletters, and one for offers. Let's look at the one for alerts. I gave it a description that says contacts who have unsubscribed to new product alerts, and then when I click Add Remove Contacts, I can see that the dynamic criteria I've set is such that any contact whose unsubscribe alerts field is equal to true or yes will be added to this group. So since it's a dynamic field, anytime one of my contacts checks the box to unsubscribe, then they will automatically be added to this group. Okay, step number 4 is adding the dynamic group to the appropriate campaign's exclusion list. So now that the groups are set up, we need to make sure that we apply this unsubscription setting to the proper campaigns in Act Marketing Automation. I'll go to my Marketing Automation area now, and inside Campaigns, I want to apply this unsubscription process to my Cloudwalker newsletter campaign. So let's open that. And now from my Actions menu on the right, I'm going to choose Exclusion Lists. So at this point, there have been no exclusion lists added yet. Let's add one now. I'm going to locate the group that I just created in Act called Unsubscribed Newsletter, and I'm going to add that group as an exclusion list to this entire campaign. Once a contact gets added to that group, they will immediately be removed from any future emails in this campaign. All right, now step 5 is designing the preferences subscription page. So now that everything is set up, we can build our preferences page for our subscriptions. This is the page that will let your contacts or customers choose which mailing lists they no longer want to receive. And since this is an administrator task, I'm going to go to my admin area in Act Marketing Automation. From the drop-down list, we'll choose Subscription Management, Preference Center, and then click Go. All right, I have no preference page yet, so let's go to the Actions menu and choose New Page. I'll choose Preference Center and click Continue. And now I need to give this page a name. I'm going to call it CloudWalker Subscription. If I had already designed a skin, I would choose it here, but this is something I can do later, so I'll just leave it as the default skin. Now the page that I'm going to design will have 3 options to unsubscribe from different individual lists. But as a catch-all, it's really a good idea to also include an unsubscribe from all option. So I'm going to leave this there and click Continue. Now we can finally design our page. So let's start by clicking Add New Preference Selection, and then in the Preference Selection name field, I'll word it like this: Unsubscribe from New Product Alerts. And now I need to map this question to the custom field that I created in ACT. So in the custom area, I have named it Unsubscribe Alerts. And then just click the check mark button over here to insert that. Great, so far so good. Now I'm just going to do this 2 more times. Once for newsletters, mapping that to the unsubscribe newsletter field. And 1 more for product offers. Okay, that looks good right now, so let's click the Create button at the bottom. And now I'm going to look at the form by clicking it and then choosing Edit Form and clicking Go. I'm going to title this page Subscription Preferences. And then this button does not make sense to call it Register. So I'll change the name of the button to Submit. Now just to help clarify this page, I do want to add some instructions at the top. So from my Actions menu, I'm going to add a control, and the control type is going to be HTML, and I'll click Add Control. And now I just need to add some instructions to this page, so I'm going to put check any boxes below to opt out of those specific mailing lists. And if you want, you can change the font to make it a little bit more in line with your branding. Once you're done with that, go to Actions again and choose Save and Return. And now you'll see that added my instructions towards the bottom, so I'm going to move this up above my new fields. I'll click this hamburger button and drag it above those fields. Now the email field that you see at the top is required because this is what identifies the contact who is requesting this opt-out. Likewise, the unsubscribe from all field is required since I chose to add it in the previous step. All of these other fields can be removed. But I like the way it looks now, so I'm going to go to my Actions menu and choose Save and Return. And now we're on our final step. I need to make sure that my email templates link to this subscription preferences page. I want to make sure our customers and contacts can link to this preferences page so that they can set their own preferences. I'm going to add a link to my email template. Let's go to the email templates area, and then picking one of my newsletters, this one looks good. I'll edit that newsletter. And then down at the bottom, I've already created a content item as a placeholder for this. So I'm going to drag a text item to this area. And then in the text area, I'm just going to delete all that text. And now on my special links dropdown, there's a new preferences submenu. And I'm going to choose the CloudWalker subscription page that I just created. Now if you want, you can change the text here. I'll change it to say, manage your email preferences. And then I'll just center it to make it look good. And there we have it. We're finally finished. All we have to do now is to remember to add this link to every email template from this point on. And now your customers can manage their own preferences by opting out of the email lists that they don't want.